Hey dreamers, this is Sakku and welcome back to a new tutorial. In this, I'll be showing you how to make fire and a bit of particle effects from scratch. For this, I've set up a nice little campfire with some awesome wooden planks, and yeah. So let's get started. The first thing we want to do is go into the paint mode, since pretty much all of it will be painted. Then we can go ahead and activate draw flags in the tools option. This allows us to draw thinner or thicker lines the harder we press R2. And for the fire, I like to use a mixture out of every of the yellow colors, but we can adjust the color later on anyways. So the first thing we want to do is draw some lines that pretty much fit the shape of the fire. Here we go for a thicker beginning of the lines in the thinner end, since that will just look more like fire and just better in the end. After we are done with that, we can now go ahead and adjust some of the lines by just grabbing them and put them into place. When we're happy with the outcome, we can then go and grab our fire and just clone it a little bit and make it a little bit thicker overall. And I also recommend you to turn it around a little bit and just give it the perfect shape to your liking. Then you can select all of these and merge them together so it's one painting again. And now we already come to the animation part. For this, we let it play with a low speed here. And most importantly, we go into the effects menu of the painting, and here you can really try around for yourself. I feel like all of the effects are fitting in some way, at least a little bit. And yeah, here I can only recommend you to try your own settings and see what's best for you. After that, we can change the flag type as well. I like an impressed flag, or also the splat flag looks good. But because it's a little bit thin, we go to the flag properties and hire it with the looseness and impasto option, and you can also stretch the flag a little bit and see how that looks to you. Once we're happy with how it looks, we can now go ahead and actually lighten it up. For that, we turn off the studio lighting and go into the tweak menu again, where we can change the finish of the fire, the opacity, make it glow, and also adjust the color to our liking. I really recommend you, if you use the yellow color as me, to make it a little bit more into the red direction, but then again, it's up to you how you want your fire to look like. And I can also recommend you to have it a little bit of shiny, a little bit of waxiness, and obviously you want it to glow a lot. Then we copy our fire and make the second one a little bit lighter even, and that's just the inner flame, which gives it a more natural look if you put it inside of your fire. For this more natural look, I can also recommend you to lower the opacity of the inner fire even more. But here it's really up to you how you want your fire to look like. There's quite a few different versions, and it also depends on if you want a campfire or a different fire. This is just the basic techniques to show you how you can make fire in general. After all, it's up to you what you make out of these techniques, out of the tips that I'm giving you. I'm always happy to see what you guys come up with, so feel free to send me your stuff over on Twitter or Instagram and just show me what you'll learn or make with the techniques shown in my tutorials. And here you can also see how we just do a little few more tweaks and adjust it to our liking. Feel free to do that with your own fire as well. Now once we're done with our main flame, we can go on to the second step, where we draw the smoke of the fire. When there's a fire, there's always coming a little bit of smoke with it, and doing this will also improve the whole look of our fire a lot. For this, we go pretty much with the same technique as the first one, but we choose the splat flag and obviously choose the white or gray colors for it. And with drawing this smoke, we also want to make it a lot bigger and higher than the first fire. And with the direction that we draw the lines in, we can also straight away decide the wind direction if you want to have one. Now, once we're happy with how it looks, we can go ahead into the animation section again, and we want to make it a little bit slower than the actual flame. This is just more natural. And then we can also adjust the looseness, the impasto again. Again, feel free to try around for yourself. And what's also important here, or could be important, is the flag properties. Here you can also play around with this option, which makes it look a little bit better in my opinion. And same again also with the effects tab and the color as well. For the smoke, I recommend you to give it more roughness and also waxiness, which makes it look a little bit more realistic, you can say. And also what's really important here is to give it a quite low opacity, also depending on how strong you want your smoke to look like, obviously. In the effects tab you can also try around with it. I feel like most of it makes it look a little bit better, or yeah, just more alive, you can say. And yeah, this is just up to you really. Then you can also adjust the size of it and the whole look of it, make a few tweaks to your liking, and yeah. Now, once we're done with that, we come to the third and pretty much final step of the fire, and this will be the particles flying up. And for this we use pretty much the same technique again, but for this time we go for very thin lines, because the particles should be quite small and thin, and I also recommend you to draw the lines super curly, since that will look better and more natural. It's those little details about the whole fire thing that will make it look a lot better in the end, and also make it better looking in general for all of your scenes if you give it those small little details. Now, when you're happy with your lines, we go into the tweak menu again, and what's especially important here is of course make them glow. I would recommend you to make them glow even more than the actual flame, and also we go into the flag properties and set this option to about 2% or 1%, you can decide for yourself. And compared to the flame and the smoke, we make this super speedy, since they're going up quite fast. Here again, feel free to try around with the effects option. They just make it look a little bit better. And you can also lower the opacity a little bit, set the finish to waxiness and shininess a little bit, even though that doesn't make too much of a difference here. And I can also recommend you to actually do the glow to 100%. Now, one more option I want to show you here is that you can actually clone your particles in the tweak menu to have a different kind of particles, or just more particles going up in this fire. Even though I find it not too fitting to have too many here, I actually like it how it was. But yeah, this is how you make particles in general, and how you can make them move, how to animate them, and obviously you can also make them white and just flow around in the environment itself, which always looks pretty good. And yeah, this is the fire we made here. I think it can be done even better. Feel free to show your own techniques to me as well. Here's a little showcase of how it looks like in the end. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please give it a like, some feedback, and also share it with other dreamers so they can learn these techniques as well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, definitely make sure to do so, and also ring that bell to not miss out on future videos. I'll see you in the next one.